Roger, what is Red Dye about?
It's about a deserter from the First World War. Comes back to Middle Dorset and gets chased, as deserters might in 1916. That's the bones of it.
And what are the ideas behind the novel?
Well, I'd have to say that there are quite a lot. The title of the novel, Red Dye, refers to a dice. These were also in my first book, Albion's Dream. And the red dye are a kind of door in the wardrobe, or an entrance into some other kind of reality, in a way. And of course, you can appreciate, or you can believe in the fact that there might be such uncanny objects. I'm sure there are, but they're also a kind of metaphor. And so there is a sense of exploring an alternative reality. I think that's fair. There are other ideas in the book. To a certain extent, it's simply about a man who has survived just possibly the most ghastly experience that the 20th century had in store.
And what inspired you to write Red Dye?
Well, initially it was a particular day that the idea of, and this is going back 30 years, I suppose, or more, is it more? It was a place, to begin with. It was the Cerne Giant, above Cerne Abbas, where I walked from Sherborne, quite a long walk, on a blustery, beautiful day, and arrived at the Giant, and there was no one around, and they had no precinct, no fence or anything in those days, and I decided that I would run down the figure of the Giant, so I did. And I got to his midriff and realised there was a choice, and suddenly the choice seemed important. Right leg or left leg? The right leg, somehow, the one that you would think if you wanted to be safe, and the left leg, the sinister one, so I took the sinister one. And as I did so, I distinctly heard a voice in my ear, "Maudit!" Cursed. So, of course, I dismissed it as one would. And then later on that day, as I was going back towards Sherborne, I went through a footpath through Middlemarsh, and a man, dogs came pounding down the path towards me with their mouths barking and snarling at me, and in my fright, I yelled at them and they ran off. And then I saw just over the fence there was the farmer, the owner of the dogs, with a gun. And he came in, he said, "This isn't a footpath." And he told me he had a collection of guns at home. It was at dusk, and it was... So from that walk, the idea of Red Dye grew. And it took me a long time to set it down, find a shape for it.
And you did. Somebody recently asked, is the author in control of this novel, or is the novel in control of its author?
Yeah.
How would you answer that question?
Well, out of the numerous reactions and comments that I've had to the book, this is the one that interested me, because my first reaction is that he's right. There is a sense in which this, as I was writing the book, and particularly because I was writing it and rewriting it and rethinking it and over a period of many years, there is a sense in which it grew to be bigger than what I'd originally imagined or could really conceive of, and therefore ending it was very hard. And I suppose that this person, whoever it may be, who made this comment, found that at a certain time in the book there was evidence of a lack of control, and I think it was very observant of him.
Why did you decide on the subtitle, A Dorset Mystery?
It is very strongly, in a sense, to people who know Dorset, I felt that they would enjoy the book because of its sense of place, and I believe that has been the case. And I wanted to point to that. Originally, I wanted to call it a Dorset ghost story, but mystery seemed to be a little bit less, I don't know, prejudicial somehow. So a Dorset mystery, and in a sense that the mystery is in a way, what was the CERN giant, or what might he have been? And I don't think it's a question that the antiquarians and archaeologists are agreed on. So there is a mystery. Is it solved in the book? I don't know, but Margarita, I think, has a pretty good idea.
And that leads me on to the next and final question. Now, several readers have said that the mystery in the title is the actual ending itself on Giant Hill. You've commented on that a little. I just wondered if you wanted to expand a little more.
I think the mystery, I mean, it's set in Dorset, but the mystery is, the book is about the haunting of the present, in this case 1916, by the past. This is an idea which, or a territory, which I have given a great deal of thought to. And some kind of haunting, whether you call it haunting or residual influences, or influences which can emerge and be resurrected in people's minds through the sense of the landscape, particularly in certain places at certain times. And I am sure that many people listening to this will have had some kind of experience of their own. The old round barrows, extraordinary places, the henges, the stones, the tracks. And so, yes, in a way, it's a mystery it's an ancient mystery which many people have tried to unravel. And then it's something more specific, the mystery of a man's attempt to make sense of something which was inexplicable, and I mean the trenches, which I feel just through reading and seeing films and thinking about it, and particularly the memoirs of the time, I feel must have been something more or less which we can only understand as a extraterrestrial experience. I mean, the landscape, the physical, the noise, the horror, the unimaginable, the bodies, the rats, the smell. Everything about it seems to me to, in a sense, to try and understand that experience, you need to call on metaphysical images, if that's the right expression.
Roger, thank you very much.